The subject of today's video is about a group that was the Jackson 5 before there was a Jackson 5. This group had the talent to take over the world, but tragedy would strike the group several times, preventing them from receiving significant exposure. The Womack brothers, also known as the Valentinos, is the subject of today's video. Before we get started, please be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push the notification bell to stay up to date. Now, without further ado, let's cue that intro. Naomi and Friendly Womack had met in Cleveland, Ohio and fell in love. Friendly was a steelworker and minister who would also sing and play the guitar part-time. Naomi, she played the organ for the local church. Now the Womacks, they will go on to have 5 sons. Friendly Jr., who was born in 1941, Howard, also known as Curtis, who was born in 1942, Bobby, who was born in 1944, Harry, who was born in 1945, and Cecil, who was born in 1947. All of the Womack brothers except for Harry was born in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, Harry, on the other hand, he was born in Charleston, West Virginia. The family grew up as Baptists, and that was a church-going family. Now, according to Bobby, the family was very poor, as if all 5 brothers had to share one bed, and they also, according to Bobby, had to find their food by digging in trash. Now, Mr. Womack, he had this guitar that he didn't want none of his kids to touch while he was gone. But kids gonna be kids. So, while he was gone, one day they would all take turns playing it, and Bobby, he would be the one to break the string off the guitar. He would replace it with one of his shoestrings. So when Mr. Womack would come back home and realize that his guitar was broken, he soon realized that it was Bobby who did it because he was the one missing the shoestring. So, Mr. Womack would give Bobby an ultimatum. Play this guitar, and if you good, I won't whoop you. But if you bad, I'm gonna tear that ass up. And it was this moment when Mr. Womack realized he had some talented children. After this, Mr. Womack would go out and buy all his kids a guitar. Now Bobby, he was left-handed, so he would flip his guitar upside down, not realizing that the instrument could be restrung to accommodate his left-handedness. But the fact that he would play it upside down and still sounded good, it was impressive. Curtis, he had the voice, so he was the lead singer of the band. At this moment, the brothers, they will start performing under the name of Curtis Womack and the Womack Brothers as early as 1954. They would release many songs, including Buffalo Bill and Bible Tells Me So. Now Sam Cooke, he was the lead singer of the Soul Stirrers. Now both groups, they sung gospel, so they will also cross paths a lot. Sam Cooke, he would really take a liking to the group, and he would become the group's mentor. He would also help them secure their first tour as an opening act for the Staple Singers. Cooke began to grow fond of Bobby, and he began to encourage him to highlight his vocals, as Bobby's voice was more grittier in comparison to Curtis' smoother tone. When Cooke founded Saw Records, he would sign the group in 1961, renaming them the Valentinos. He would relocate them to LA, also pushing the group to leave gospel music to sing secular. Cooke, he would collaborate closely with the group, and among this collaboration, he would really gain a real friendship with Bobby Womack. To Bobby, Sam Cooke was more of a older brother or a father figure to him. The group, they would record their first secular single with Looking for a Love. I'm looking for a love. This single would give them some spotlight, and it will pave the way for them to earn a date with James Brown on tour opening for him. In 1964, the group, they would release another single titled It's All Over Now. This single was written by Bobby, and it was produced by Sam Cooke. Things was looking up for the Valentinos until their mentor Sam Cooke was shot and killed on a cold, heartbreaking December night.
In the early morning hours of December 11th, 1964, officers with the LAPD arrived at a seedy $3 a night motel called the Hacienda. A black man wearing only an overcoat and one shoe was dead on the floor of the motel manager's room. A .22 caliber bullet had been fired straight through his heart. It took about 12 hours before police realized that the victim was 33-year-old pop and R&B singer Sam Cooke. How Cooke wound up at this grisly scene remains a mystery today.
When Cooke was shot and murdered, the group's career was jeopardized. The group, like many others, had struggled to deal with Sam Cooke's loss. Saw Records was failed, and the band that was disbanded around, leaving them without a contract. Now, Bobby Womack would marry Cooke's widow not so long after he was laid to rest, just before his 21st birthday. During this time, since Bobby wasn't 21, he had to get permission from his parents to get married. According to the Womack family and friends, they accused Barbara of falling in love with Bobby and persuading him to marry her. In addition of marrying his mentor's wife, he wore one of Cooke's best suits in his watch at his funeral at Barbara's request. Now, this relationship between Barbara and Bobby, it really angered Sam Cooke's loyal fan base. Now, I'm going to put a pin in it as of right now, and I'm going to hold off on the rest of this until I get to the Bobby Womack story. Bobby, he will soon depart from the group to prevent any negative criticism. Radio DJs began to boycott his music by refusing to play it. Bobby, he would leave the group to go on to pursue a solo career with Chess Records. Womack, he decided to work as a rhythm guitarist at the time since he was getting no radio time and was being booed everywhere he went. Everywhere he went, everyone called him the kid that married Sam Cooke's wife. During this time, he would go ahead and contact his brothers to have them reform the group, and he would get them an audition at his label. Now, under Checker Records, the group, they would release 2 singles in 1966 with Do It Right,
I don't care how you do it, long as you do it right.
and Let's Get Together.
Forget the quarrels and the fights we had in the past.
Both singles would fill the chart and the group was released as a result. Cecil, who was 19 at the time, chose to leave the group as well. He would go on to marry MOTOWN singer Mary Wells, who was 23. Cecil and Wells, they would assist the group in landing a deal with Jubilee Records in 1968. The group, they would release 2 singles under this label with Tired of Being Nobody
My days were so miserable before you came into my...
and Two Lovers History.
I got your message, darling. Little girl, you mean.
On March 9th, 1974, tragedy was struck the group once more, when Harry's girlfriend would shoot and killed him after discovering another woman's clothes, which turned out to be clothing from another woman who Bobby was having an affair with. Bobby, he would be so affected by his younger brother's death that he would relocate his entire family to California in order to strengthen a family bond that just been tampered with. During the late 70s and early 80s, Cecil, he began dating Linda Cooke, who was Sam Cooke's daughter and also at this time, Bobby's stepdaughter. The two, they would eventually get married. Now with the two getting married, they would create an interesting family tree because Bobby and Cecil, they brothers, and his sister-in-law is the mother of his wife. And his ex-wife Mary Wells, who he would go on to have 3 kids with, had an affair and gave birth to a daughter with his brother Curtis, making the children of Mary Wells siblings and cousins. Cecil also had children with Linda, making her a stepmother and aunt. It's confusing, right? The rest of the group, they agreed to cancel any recordings that they had planned, and they would go on to sing background for Bobby for most of his career. Most notably the song If You Think You're Lonely Now.
If you think you're lonely now.
Now, out of all 5 Womack brothers, Friendly Jr. is the only surviving sibling, with Cecile Womack passing in February 1st of 2013, Bobby Womack passing on June 24th, 2014, and Curtis Womack passing May 21st, 2017. Now, in the group, they never obtained the success that they truly deserved, but they achieved great success on their own, proving that they was born to be part of music. However, life interfered, forcing the group to reset itself several times.